Okay, so for those of you guys that have not been tuning in each week, if you want to, go back through my timeline and look at each Monday. Thanks, Sean. Okay, awesome. Go back because this is like the third or fourth segment, and what I'm doing is just kind of highlighting the amazing nuggets that are in this book. So if you have it, I would love for you guys to share what part of this jumped out at you. I know Stacy, you said that yours did too. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for the hearts. Oh, I love you so much. Thank you, thank you. So today I really loved it because what she was talking about, I think every woman specifically has been guilty of it. And what she was talking about is how if someone asks you, how are you? How quick do we just say, oh, I'm fine, I'm doing great, oh, I'm just awesome, with this fake cheesy smile on our face, when really we're struggling and going through so much and we have the burdens of the world on our shoulder, but we don't take the time to be honest. So I loved this, how she said, how are you? No, really, how are you? And I loved it. I'm going to read this, and it says, what happens when you answer someone truthfully? You give the other person an unspoken invitation to do the same. Perfect says, oh, I'm fine, and the conversation dwindles. Perfect keeps it all bottled inside, snuffing out a possible life-changing connection between two souls. Perfect is boring. Lame. But when a friend answers me honestly, I feel invited to let go and do the same, and life starts to happen. A connection is formed, relationship happens, trust is built, our lives are shared. Isn't that so good? It's so true. It's so good. I love that. There are countless women who feel held back from really living. Their fire has been put out, and we need their fire. We need your fire. We need your honesty. Let's be there for each other. When we ask, we mean it, right? Oh my goodness, it's so crazy. And so she was just talking about how, you know, with what she does for her living, that she feels so out of her comfort zone. Well, I think for those, if it's worth reaching, it's worth being uncomfortable. And especially for those of us in direct sales, that's what, well, Sean is always saying, do it scared, but do it anyway, and just take that risk. So I love this. And in this, she was saying, I feel ordinary, I feel unprepared, and in way over my head, about a dozen times an hour. And that's the thing. I am unprepared and I am in over my head. But God does extraordinary things with our broken pieces when we give them to Him. He is real and good, and we are the story. We make the story. He puts together the pieces in us and knows exactly what we need. He's made us, you, the individual, courageous, beautiful, and capable of doing it. You have a story and hidden passions and deep desires for change. He will make it happen if you let Him. So now it's your turn. How are you? No, really think about it. Let that question settle for a moment, longer than is comfortable. Deep thoughts, right? And answer it honestly, as if you would to a close friend. Write it out or speak it. Wow, right? Oh, okay, I loved that part. Then the next part is even better. It's talking about the chase and how life, it moves fast, so fast that we don't slow down to take stock of how we really are doing. So sometimes when people ask, we can't even answer honestly because we're in just such robot mode that we've not processed our feelings. We think it doesn't matter how I feel right now. I have to keep striving towards success. I'll take times for feelings some other day, right? Left with seems like no choice but to press on and to keep going and to go into robot mode. We grasp at the nearest sources of comfort or inspiration, some magazine, some TV, a glass of wine, filling our minds and hearts with the world's definition of what we should be, what we should do, what we should think. What sources of information, of inspiration, do you feed yourself? What's your default when you're having those moments? What do you go to fill your cup? And what sources are fueling you to live an intentional life? You need to reevaluate of what you are putting into your mind and your heart and your soul, because there are so many sources that crush you, at those times when you're having those hard moments and those feelings of not being good enough, and then you reach to like a magazine or turn on TV and see, the airbrushed perfection that's unattainable. That's not healthy for us, and that's not what God has in store for us. Over time, the impossible standards we set for ourselves become the measuring stick of our worth. We start to believe that if we don't measure up, we aren't enough. We begin to feel worthless, right? Isn't it crazy? Oh, I hate that. We believe the lies about who we are or who we thought we should be. We chase the standard of perfection. And this part I loved. I'm reading this bit by bit. Chasing perfect is comparing our worth with someone else's. Guilty, right? Chasing perfect makes us believe we are bad moms or bad wives or bad friends. Chasing perfect makes us believe we are average and insignificant. Chasing perfect makes us believe we'll never be content. We don't have enough friends. We don't do enough fun things or adventures. We don't travel like so-and-so. We'll never be successful. It makes us do unreasonable things like starve ourselves or buy things we can't afford to measure up to our perception of others. What has chasing perfect, striving for impossible standards made you believe? So take a moment and fill that out. Chasing perfect has made me believe what? What is that? The next time we feel down, you race back to those very things that caused that emptiness in the first place. Never satisfied, never feeling good enough, never feeling fulfilled. It's a crazy cycle, almost like a treadmill cycle, and we think there's gotta be a better way to live, right? There is a better way. Are you there right now? Do you fear that whatever it is holding you back, if it's anxiety, fear, control, distrust, lack, challenging circumstances, that those will always be there? Well, be still, my friend. Know that God's desires for you is a life of peace. He wants you to be free from the chase. Wherever you are right this minute is exactly where you're supposed to be to ignite intentional change. What would happen if you stopped chasing the uncatchable? What good could you do with your newfound time and energy instead of chasing your tail like that? The lies of perfection and shoulds tell us we aren't enough. But the truth paves a path for us to an abundant life of joy, where we are more than enough, and you are. All of you are more than enough. There's a great saying that she said, "I will hold myself to a standard of grace, not perfection." Shouldn't we all be more like that, more grace-filled, achieving grace instead of achieving perfection? Flaws, mistakes, regardless of what you've done or where you've been, you matter. You were created for a purpose, and it's time to make that purpose happen. Aren't you ready? Making it happen means choosing purpose over perfect. Boom, right? Oh, love that. So write this statement on a Post-it note and place it somewhere where you will see it every day. I was created for a purpose, and it's time to make it happen. All right? Make it happen, guys. I love you. Thanks for tuning in. Make it happen today. Give me your feedback on what you liked, what you don't like, and thanks for tuning in. I'll chat next Monday. Take care. Blessings.